And hello, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of the Zone TV Movie Entertainment with me, your host Jonathan. Once again, bringing you my thoughts and review for last night's episode of DC's The Flash, Season 9, Episode 7. So, spoiler alert if you've not caught up to this episode. So this episode basically it was all about Iris dealing with she's already seen her future being pregnant, winning journalism awards and all that. And apparently she's really struggling with it. She's not really sure how to either embrace it, not embrace it, just let the future just come when it comes. She's not really sure. While that's happening, Nia shows up from Supergirl. She shows up, aka Dreamer. She shows up and she's having some problems with her powers. She's going to the dream world and some shadowy figure is after her. She's not really sure what it means. And then she goes to see Iris, and then Iris gets caught up in this whole situation with Dreamer. And it becomes basically an episode of them trying to escape the dream world. World. So, yeah, and then Barry, he's just trying to figure out what to do. He has no idea how to save them because they're both locked in a dream. He's worried about Nora, because at this point Iris is pregnant. So yeah, that's basically just the episode. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Oh yeah, before I forget, also we got to see Keon start to, I guess, show off her powers. We're still not really exactly sure what Keon's powers are. I believe it's something to do with the elements, but who knows? Kind of reminds me of when Diana Pennebaker did Sky High when she had the nature powers, something like that. Maybe something similar to it. Not really sure. Mark tries to hang out with her, thinking he has feelings for her, but in reality, he still has feelings for Killer Frost, and he's trying to make Keon kind of like Killer Frost by doing the same things that they both like to him and Frost like to do with karaoke, go drinking, make out, all that stuff. So we got to see that. And of course, Chester and Leg are doing their thing as well. So there's that. I'm gonna be completely honest. I didn't really like this episode. I feel like this episode happened kind of quick. It wasn't really too much stakes. Barry didn't really do anything. He was just there. I feel like Iris's problems became Dreamer's problems only because it was Dreamer's situation that made Iris into it. It had nothing to really to do with Iris. It really had to do with Dreamer. And then we find out the big reveal of who the big villain of this episode was. It was the original Dreamer who was just trying to teach Nia how to use her powers even better. And, because, Nia, last time we saw her in Supergirl, she's been using her powers as an energy blast or whatever. So she was getting better at it. But now apparently the original dream person or dreamer shows up and it's like showing her how to kind of be better at her powers. And I don't know, I felt like it was just kind of pointless. You have Dreamer helping Iris to find out who she is, but yet it was really going back to Dreamer. So, was it a Dreamer episode? Was it an Iris episode? It just felt very weird to me. I felt like it didn't really work. Like if Iris was having real problems, like trying to figure out, like, oh, should I just embrace being, a top journalist? Should I embrace being, because apparently she has dreams of being a cop. She always wanted to be a cop. Then there was a moment where she was a barista, a coffee maker. I don't know how to pronounce it. I apologize. So she wasn't sure exactly what she was. If we seen that kind of thing of her struggling with exactly what she wanted to do with her life, that would have been better. But we never really got anything. And the whole notion of Iris being a journalist anyway is kind of, not cool. I mean, we really don't need two journalism in the DC world. I know Iris in the comics is a journalist too, yeah. But does anybody actually care? Because when you look at DC journalism, there's only one person we all think of, and that's Lois Lane. And let's face the facts, they only did that at the beginning of the show, making Iris a journalist or a blogger, which is nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying. But the only reason they did that in the beginning is because they weren't going to use Lois Lane. But now that they got Lois Lane, do you really need Iris to be the journalist too? like her winning a Nobel Prize for journalism is like, yay, cool. Lois Lane's got like 80 of those things at her mantle, so it's not like much of a big deal. But, you know, that's what they wrote for Iris. Go figure. I don't know. Iris could have been a cop and would have been way better. But I do think that Iris should have been a cop throughout this whole season, this whole show. She would have been a badass cop. She could have taken over for her father. She could have been the new captain of the Central City Police Department, and it would have been great. She could have been teaming up with the Flash. Her story arc would have been a lot better, but they chose to give her the journalism thing. And by the way, I don't think she really does journalism. She just stays there, kind of like J. Jonah Jameson does, just tells people what to do. So she's not exactly doing anything. Only when she's in the field with Barry, that's when she does journalism. So anyway, I'm all off track a little bit. Sorry. So basically, this whole episode really didn't need to happen. This episode should have just been a Dreamer episode. Maybe Dreamer needed help trying to figure out her powers and went to, Barry and Chester for help or something. But it really had nothing to do with Iris, in my opinion. I think Iris already knows where she's at. She's a journalist. She's about to be a mother. So she already knows all this. She didn't need to struggle trying to figure out who is she, as a person. So I think it's a little bit too late for her to figure out what exactly does she really want. So what can you do? But that's the CW's writing, I guess. That's exactly what they do now. So leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Do you guys think that this episode was good, or it was just kind of a waste? In my opinion, I think it was a kind of a waste. It was great to see Dreamer again. I really like her character. But, they kind of just wasted it with just her and Iris just teaming up for two little things. And then Nia figuring out how to get out of that situation like 1, 2, 3. So it kind of happens quickly. So it was just, it just didn't work. And I guess next week her and Barry are going to get stuck in time loops again. I don't know exactly what's going on with this last season. But honestly, right now, I'm not liking it. I'm not enjoying this last season at all. I really am not. I mean, we had the whole Batwoman stuff, and then we're still waiting on what the next big bad villains are. We're not going to see the big reveal of the big bads until near the end of this series. So I just hope it has a payoff. Because right now the season is not my favorite. So, but what can you do? It's the last season. I guess they kind of just rushed it. So whatever. So let me know a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought. Stay tuned for more. Thank you very much, and have a good day.